can do it.
Oh, lost
Look
it.
at that. I planned that the whole time.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Michael with RC Crawling. Today, we are looking at the new SCX30. I picked this up recently when I was at Triple Crown RC Hobbies. I also grabbed a white one for a buddy. He also, the white Jeep, of course. Bronco is the other design, but here's one Bronco body. Here's a second Bronco body. I think I'm good on Broncos for the moment. So let's get this open, see what comes in the box, get some comparisons size-wise with the other rigs that I've got. So the SCX24, and we'll compare it to some 18 scale rigs. Try to put it on the 4-corner scale. I don't know if the 4-corner scales are small enough to get this thing on it. So we'll try that. We'll get the 4-corner scale out. We'll get the setup table out, get some numbers on it, hit the rocks, and then we are going to do some free and inexpensive mods to help the performance in this video. So make sure to stick around. Go ahead and hit that like button. Leave a comment. Which SCX30 are you wanting to grab? What do you want to do with it? I want more than one because I like the Jeep body and I want to do a custom build. So enough gabbing. Let's dive into it and get this box open. Let's take a look at the box real quick. You can pause and read this if you need it to complete. Nothing. Comes with batteries, Axial. Good job. I love this about Axial RTRs. Most others don't include the batteries that you need for the remote, so in my mind, that's not ready to run. Nice graphics here on the front. 2-year limited warranty. LED lights included, very cool. Some more shots, 1/30th, 4x4, yeah. More technical stuff if you want to pause and read it. Features and details, we'll get into all that here in this video. Let's go ahead and open this up. These are just so small. It's so cool looking. These are hard bodies, so lots of detail. Door lines molded into the body, got hinges, handles, all these nice accessories, traction mats, spare tire. The tires feel good. Let's see, is this the same as the SCX24s? Yeah. So this little knob spins if you don't know, and then you can take your traction mats off, or your sand rails, however you refer. There it goes. But yeah, these are removable and functional. Let's set that aside for now. Yeah, we've got instructions, decals, very cool. That's the stickers that come with it. Toss that aside because nobody reads those. And in the box, we've got the rest of our RTR equipment. So the same familiar Spectrum radio that you get with the SCX24s, the good old SLT2. Nothing fancy, but it works. It's comfortable in the hand. I like it. USB charger, that's garbage. Throw that away. Batteries, love that. And then all these little doodads. So what these are for, you can remove all these accessories. And Axial has done this really well. These little green pieces plug up the holes that are left in the body from taking the accessories off. I like the accessories, so I'm going to keep mine. Yeah, we've got some narrow fenders. If you want to swap fenders, we've got the wide fenders that come stock, but these are removable and you can swap to more narrow fenders. If you want to take the back spare off, this little black piece here is a spare delete, so that'll cover the hole left by removing the spare. And I've seen a couple people online say that they didn't get a tool for the wheel nuts because they are smaller than the SCX24. But y'all need to pay attention. There is your wheel nut tool on the end of your screwdriver. So make sure to keep your screwdriver this time instead of chucking it like I always do, because that's what you'll need to take the wheels off and on of your rig. So this does have a clip-on body. You can see the clip under the hood clips onto these posts on the chassis. And then the back end has a slot here that this tab goes into. So when you put the body back on, you fit the tab and then press until it clicks. And I hold the wheels and pull the body because I'm afraid that if you grab it by the links or something, you're going to end up bending or breaking a link. So I've just been grabbing it by the wheels to take the body off. So inside, we've got our familiar 88 turn motor, same as the SCX24. Different sticker on it, but that's an old stock motor. Tiny little battery with a battery strap, so that's nice to have to hold that in. We do have clips for wires here. I've removed the battery and charged it ahead of time. And our little slider / ESC and receiver on this side. So very compact, not much space here. One thing that you're going to want to do is on your battery connector, I have already done this, you want to cut off the little tabs, because otherwise they are so stiff that a lot of guys are accidentally pulling the wires out of the JST connector when trying to unplug it from the ESC. So you should never leave your battery plugged into the ESC. It will slowly drain and ruin your battery. So unplug it when you're done running it. So yes, you want to cut those tabs off. I just used a hobby knife and just trimmed them off. That way it doesn't get stuck and rip your tabs or your connector off your wires. The friction fit is plenty without those tabs. So it's not going anywhere. And then you can still pull it out nice and easy. So I think that's most of the features. Of course, the on and off switch. Tiny little steering servo. Headlights and taillights are integrated onto the chassis. The chassis has a lot of shock mounting positions, which is really cool for a stock chassis. So you can get some tuning out of your stock chassis. We do have an angled skid, which is really awesome. And stock high clearance links in the rear. So Axial has done a great job designing this. Underneath, the axles have built-in sliders, so that's going to help you get over obstacles. This skid is nice and smooth. Not a lot of sharp points for anything to grab onto. So really, really good design, really good engineering on Axial's part. I'm a fan. So let's go ahead and try to put this on the 4-corner scale and see what the weight bias looks like. We are able to get this on the 4-corner scale. As you can see, very light, 145 grams overall. Weight bias leaves a little bit to be desired, 48 front, 52 rear. All those accessories come at a cost. And then 49.51 left to right. The battery is installed. And that's interesting. The ESC is on the right side. And there we're 50-50. So 50-50 left to right. We'll say 48.52 front to rear. And cross weight, pretty good. 51.49. So room for improvement, but not bad. Let's put it on the setup table and check those numbers. Just for fun, let's see how the SCX30 does on the ramp travel index, or RTI. Hey, better than I thought. We'll call that 6. So 6 on the RTI. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it gives us a baseline to compare to. Now let's test the side hill. You can barely see the little truck behind the gauge. There's 20, 25, 30, 35, it's leaning, 40, we'll say 43 is where we lost it, somewhere between 43 and 44. That's better than I expected, honestly. And now the vertical. 20, 25, 30, 35, starting to unload, 40, 45, will we make 50? There's 50, 55, and it just sat back onto the spare, so we'll say 56. That's a lot better than I expected given our weight distribution. Let's go ahead and head to the backyard course and see how this thing performs. Here we are on the backyard course. Ran out of daylight to crawl and film, so did some body modifications. Put some stickers on, painted those up, did some detail painting, added some limb risers. Took about 2 hours last night and 2 more hours this morning. And I'm probably going to continue working on it. But we don't build shelf queens here, so let's go ahead and drive it. There we go. And not even leaves can stop us. Let's just take a spin around the outside of the course. These obstacles were the earliest built and are some of the easiest for the 24s. Let's see how the SCX30 does on these. The slow crawl is really good. I do wish we had more steering angle, but I think that will be remedied by somebody soon. I think we can apply a lot of the DIY mods for the SCX24 to the SCX30. Rocking and rolling coming downhill, but managing it just fine. Oh wow, able to make that. I didn't expect that. We are still box stock other than some body mods. I have not moved shock locations, haven't added any weight, haven't removed anything. Put a battery in it and added some paint to it. Rocking through here just fine. Are we crazy? Do you think we can do that 45-degree climb? I'm hung up on this spare tire. Oh, and we broke loose. It's doing it. It's not extremely planted. We're lifting in the front a little bit, but able to make it up and over. See if we can come down the other side here. Oh yeah, nice and composed, not bad at all. Really impressive for how tiny this truck is. Uh-oh, set it on its side here. Typically hitting this notch is the best way with the 24s to get up onto here. But I don't think we're going to have the reach or the breakover right now with the 30. So, little hand of God. Oh, and rolled it over on its side. Pretty capable little truck. Not bad at all. Let's try to come up here onto the rock pile. Huh. There's a little bit of an overhang there, but that doesn't matter with the bigger scale rigs. But, whoa, found a spot. Doing Jeep things right now. Oh, settled back down. Nice. That was a pretty technical little climb for this tiny truck. That was good. I'm impressed. Oh, lost it on the dismount. Well, yes, it looks different, but nothing else has been changed about this truck. This is just how capable it is. Oh, can we make it? Oh, it made it. That's amazing. I didn't think this would be able to take on the stair steps, but it might have met. Oh, wow. It just keeps going. I'm already a huge fan of the SCX30. I've only had this for a couple days. I've spent a lot of time making it look the way I want it to look. I still think I've got more to do, but it crawls so good for how small it is. You have to rethink all your lines. It makes you look at your rocks in a whole new way. I'm just really impressed with how it is out of the box. I did say we would do some size comparisons. So let me set this down and spin you around. So the SCX30 against a C10 wheelbase SCX24 4Runner. Very, very much smaller. The Power Wagon, which is the same wheelbase as the Gladiator. Tiny, tiny little truck. The Beetle is kind of a C-bolt wheelbase, but the body is a lot larger than most SCX24s, so getting closer to an 18th scale in comparison here. Pretty short. And then last up, the FCX18 LC80. So these things are absolutely tiny. I think it's time to start doing some performance mods and see how capable we can get this. So I did talk about free mods. We are going to do a free mod first. I am going to remove the windows and do some dremeling to get rid of some high unnecessary weight. So I will get that removed and show you what we are going to do. So underneath the body, you can see the windows are all one piece, screwing in through the sides up into the accessories. So what we're going to do is take the windows out. We're going to unscrew all these tiny screws, and then we're going to Dremel out as much of this material as we can, still leaving the screw holes. We could go a step further and just completely cut each individual window out and glue it back in, but I don't feel like doing that much work right now. While I've got the body off, thought I'd talk about my limb risers. This is just, what was it, bead string, something like that, jewelry making stuff that I tied around the light bar and then used my micro drill to drill through the hood, ran the strings through, and just glued it with some E6000 underneath. I used a silver Sharpie to color the string as it was white. So now they kind of look like braided cables. So one cheap and easy way to do limb risers on these tiny trucks. Taking the windows out, it's a little trickier than I anticipated. You're going to take all the screws out of the roof, which is going to allow you to pull your roof accessories off. I also took one of the, well, I guess it doesn't matter after you take that off. Anyways, then the windows press in because they kind of clip into place. You can see they've all got a lip that fits inside that window opening perfectly. So you got to push on it to get it to sit inside the body. You also are going to have to take the spare tire off. You can put it back on, but if you're wanting to remove all your accessories, congrats, you've just done it. Now you use the other parts to plug it back up. So now we are just going to Dremel all that material out. Let's get a weight on it beforehand and then Dremel it and get a weight afterwards and see how much weight we've saved. There's our windows on our left front, 10.6 grams. So if you're a crazy comp guy, take all your accessories off. You can take your light bar off. It unscrews underneath there. Take your fenders off. Take your windows out. You'll have the lightest Jeep body out there. There are our windows all hacked up. If you're really concerned about weight bias, and for some reason you're keeping your overland accessories on, the back windows are covered. So you could cut the back windows off, leaving the rear window if you wanted. Just have more material up front. If you're super concerned about your weight, like I said before, you can just cut the windows out perfectly and glue them back into the body. But that's one way to do it. And we are sitting at 8.1 grams. So we saved 2.5 grams by doing that. So that's not much weight at all, but when the whole rig, I think, weighed 145 grams, 2 grams is not a bad weight reduction. So let's put it back together and we will move on to our cheap mod. We're just going to combine them. Now with just the window cut at the top, we are at 49.51. So changed 1% at 142.4 total weight. So it definitely did help. We are going to now use some tungsten weights and some tungsten putty. This is kind of like silly putty, but heavy. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They're fairly inexpensive. I think tungsten putty was $6.99 for an ounce, and then a bunch of weights were $15. And I've played around with a couple configurations, and what I think I like the best is a little bit of weight underneath the hood, which, yes, is not ideal for center of gravity, but then also some weight on the axles. I found that the sprung weight, although we don't typically like that, helps keep the front of the body down on climbs instead of unloading and the body lifting up. Since it is sprung weight, it does keep those springs compressed. And then the axle weight is ideal weight since it is unsprung. That helps with the overall weight bias. So that's why I'm choosing to do it in this configuration. So I'm going to just place a weight on here on the hood and see what sort of change we get. So that took us to 50-50 with the smallest weight. Let's try the larger weight. 51.49, so making progress. If I can get both of these to stack. 52.48, so underneath the hood there's not a lot of room. I think if I can, I'm going to fit the larger of these two weights in there. And then we will do axle weight. So I will get this weight installed under the hood. We'll double check our weight bias, and then we will add some tungsten putty to the axles. Show you what I'm doing here. Since I'm not ready to permanently install this, I've got that weight in the brace to attach the body to the chassis, and I'm just going to put some painter's tape over it. So that'll just hold it in as we test our weight bias. Weight is in, and we are 51.49, 50-50, right on the edge. We'll call it 50-50. So an improvement. And let's add the tungsten putty. Just to keep me honest, I've divided it in two, 7.9 grams each. And I am going to smash it on top of the axles next to the servo, making sure that it doesn't interfere with the steering links or the suspension. This is easier to look at with the body off. So I've just smashed that tungsten putty up next to the servo on top of the axles. It's not hitting our steering. Not too bad, at least. Kind of contacting the knuckles at full lock, but it's pliable. That's going to be okay. Pushed it away from the shocks so we're not all gummed up in the shock springs. So yeah, that's how I installed the putty. That's how I've got the tungsten weight. Let's put it back together and check out our weight bias now. We are up to 164 grams total, 55 front, 45 rear, so quite a big improvement. Not the desired 60-40, but definitely closer than it was. So let's go ahead and run it again on the rocks and see if we can tell a difference. Here we are again on the backyard course. So let's just take some of the same lines and see how it feels. That was nice. It definitely felt like it wanted to grab it better. Feeling more composed. Definitely acts like it has more weight on it. That was nice and easy. That was really, really good. If you remember, I jumped that line last time. I throttled through it, able to slow crawl and use that forward weight to drag us down. Stupid leaves. All right, forget that. Leaf was out of the way. No issues at all, just ripped right up. Uh-oh. Dropped our tire into a gap. All right, the servo wiggle even works on these 30th scales. Trying a little more aggressive line to get onto this rock, and handles it easily. Reposition here for our climb. I'm definitely feeling nice and composed. Easy up and over. Uh-oh. Oh, we lost it there. We were right in the gap here instead of taking the single rock, so that was driver error. Swing around here, see if we can do this climb. Oh, it acts like it wants to. Let's try that again. Boy, if we had a little bit larger tires or a stronger servo, that line might be possible. Let's try it over here. That bumper might have to go. That's really annoying me. Oh, we got up there, but not much space to maneuver. But 30-point turn, we're out of it. Ooh, lost it there. Should have throttled through it. That was much easier. Kind of knew the line, but definitely more composed. Still doing Jeep things here, but much more settled and composed. Far less drama. Taking a little bit of a different line through here, see if we can make this. There we go, nice and easy once you find it. Oh, whoop. We'll call that a nice dismount. I'm lining up here to take on the staircase again. I can't believe we made it stock. Let's see how we do with the added weight. There we go. Using some wheel speed to our advantage here. That added weight helped on that a lot. Nope, still can't do this. I think some larger tires might help us quite a bit there. Able to do that very well. Line back up, take on the crevice. A little hung up on our skid there. That added weight is hooking up a little harder. Ooh, came at this at a bad angle. But still able to save it and crawl through it. With the added weight, it definitely felt more capable and planted out on the rocks. Let's do one more run on the setup table with the added weight and see if these numbers tell the same story that it did on the rocks just by our driving experience. There's 30, 35, 40, say 42, 43, somewhere in there. And on the vertical, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, lost it at 60. There's the little SCX30 Jeep. It's now an Overlander. I've had a lot of fun making this video, playing with a new scale, not just a new truck, a whole new scale to us, doing some mods. I think this video is long enough, but we are definitely going to continue with this truck, and we're going to continue building it. I know there's some manufacturers out there that have released some parts for it. Mofo RC has some chassis and parts. Proline has some shocks and tires that people find nice. RC four-wheel drive, RC all-wheel drive, I don't remember. Are they different? Has some small tires. Injora just announced some upgrades. Injora, if you're out there, let's make this happen. The people need to see what your parts can do. So I appreciate you sticking around with me. We will start on this again soon in the next video. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you stuck around to the end, leave a comment. Dirty 30, so I know you made it to the end. I will catch you again soon.